Hey, people. Can you hear me? Is this working? I've never Facebook Lived on my own page before. Done it on the cube, but never done it on my own, so this is weird. I don't know how well this will work. So, I've had a lot of people asking me about the Nintendo Classic Edition, NES Classic Edition. I was lucky enough to grab one of three at Bull Moose was it, yesterday morning? And I have been playing this pretty much non-stop. Right now, I just finished a game of Donkey Kong. Not exactly the best score, but it is what it is. So, here's a little bit about it. First of all, it's awesome. You get the controller, just like the old-fashioned one. Boy, donkey. The only difference is the connector is the same as you'd find on your Wii. So if you have like a classic controller for the Wii, you can use that. But it's still not the same. Because let me tell you, this, as clunky as it is, as square as it is, as non-ergonomic as it is still the best way to play Nintendo. There's just something about mashing these buttons and feeling it in your hand that is just, you feel like you're a kid again. Now the size of it, I mean, here's my hand. That shows you just how tiny this thing is. This does not open. Kind of wish it did. You know, they would have been smart if they actually did let this open and put, like you could put like Game Boy cartridges or stuff in there that would have like new games. So they could release like a new pack of games, like 30 new games for, I'd pay another $60 for another 30 games. Because that's really what the big cost of this is. Plug it in, and then you got more games. But as you can see, I'm trying to do it so it's not too dark. Will it focus? Not focus very well. There you go. Looks just like it did originally. The buttons are still there. Power button does what it says. Power button. Reset will take you out of the game you're in. So right now I'm in Donkey Kong. So if I hit the reset button, it takes me back to the main screen, which lets you pick which games you want. So here are all the games. Let me just turn this down because it's a little crazy. So I was on Donkey Kong. You've got Donkey Kong Jr., Double Dragon 2, Dr. Mario, which I never played Dr. Mario. I played it for the first time. I don't get that game. I was a Tetris guy. I just can't figure that one out. Excite Bike, which is awesome. Final Fantasy. Have never played Final Fantasy. I started playing that and I still don't quite get it. Galaga, Ghosts and Goblins, Gradius, Ice Climber, Kid Icarus, that's a hard game. Kirby's Adventure, never played that. Mario Brothers, Mega Man 2, Metroid, Ninja Gaiden, Pac-Man, Punch. I know. People love Dr. Mario. I don't get it. I can't figure that game out. Punch Out, I've been playing a lot of that. Star Tropics, Gradius. No, that's not Gradius. That's Super C. Which they don't have the regular Contra. They don't have the original. They only have the second one, Super C, which is stupid because it's not nearly as good. But anyway, then all the Mario games: the first, the second, and the third. Tecmo Bowl, Legend of Zelda, the Zelda 2, the Adventures of Link, which, by the way, that's not that great either. Balloon Fight, which is kind of like Joust, except it's with balloons, like Nintendo's version. Bubble Bobble. That's a fun game. I remember that. I really liked that one. Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, and we're back to Donkey Kong. So you got 30 games. So you can pick anyone you want. So they do a cool thing here to make it look more authentic. Let me use Mario Bros. Example. So you pick the game you want. Okay, Mario Brothers loads up. Now, that's what it looks like. Now, you'll notice it doesn't look like it used to look on, well, it's hard to see on this, but it doesn't look like it used to when you had it on your old big tube TV. So, if you want that authentic look, you can go back into the settings, and at the top, there's this thing that says display, and you get three choices. You get CRT filter, which puts lines in it. You get a 4x3, which doesn't have the lines, and then you have a thing that's called Pixel Perfect, which basically redraws every single pixel on the screen to up the resolution, basically. So let's pick this. I'll show you what it looks like, if you can actually see it from this. We'll start Mario. Oh, nope. Down to Mario. There we go. So now, I know it's tough to see on this, but it's a lot blurrier. You get the lines. I know you can't see it very well in this, but it not nearly as crisp. But it looks like it would look if it was on your TV back in the like 1986. So I don't like that. As much as I thought I would like it, it just, when you put it on an HDMI TV, and this is just a computer monitor HDMI input, it just doesn't look good. So I go with 4x3. I don't like pixel perfect either. I get what they're doing, and I know that some people will think, well, this is the way it should look, but since you've got an HDMI TV, but it looks too good to me. And I know it's hard to see on this one, but if I get close, you'll see there's no lines whatsoever. You're just seeing a little bit of the screen, but it's just too good. It looks, I can't even really describe it unless you actually saw it yourself. So, but the thing is awesome. Oh, Gay, it's my friend Gary. Hi, Gary. All right, so you go back to the menu. And then they have some other, let's see, there's some other settings. What's up here? This is options. So you can turn off automatically. All this stuff should stay on. It'll go into demo mode if you let it sit there long enough. It'll just start scrolling through games, which is kind of cool. All right, now back out of this. Back. How do I get out of this? There we go. Okay. What? Okay, now it's doing things all on its own. Fantastic. And then here's the cool thing. You can save games. Like, you'll see this little thing floating down here in the corner. The last game you played was Super Mario Brothers, and it has a save game. So if you want to save it, you'll have these slots down here that you can put it in. So if I wanted to save that Super Mario game, I could go to the Super Mario slot and put it in one of these. See, I've got a couple saved games. 4 minutes in, 6 minutes in. Now, where this comes in very, very handy is, I don't know if you guys have ever played it, but is this game. No Mike Tyson anymore. Mr. Dream. But I've got save games in here. Yep. I've got save games in here, so I can get to, like, this guy, Ball Bull, the second time around, right when I've got full health and everything, so I just can get that punch in that I need to right at the right minute. And every time I miss it, I just reset and go back. Kind of like cheating, because in the original one, you couldn't do it. If you got knocked down, you got knocked down. But I could play some of these, but I've only got one hand free to do it, and you kind of need two. So, but it is really cool, and from everything I've heard, they're going to put out more of them in time for Christmas. So I guess like in another couple of weeks, they'll have another wave of these, is what they're saying. So, but get it if you get a chance, especially if you love Nintendo. There are other ways you can do it, not so legal. I've done it before that way. A lot of people have, but this, even that way, it's like, it feels so much more authentic to have this controller for one thing and have it actually made by Nintendo. And it just moves so smooth. The UI is just fantastic. I mean, you just pick the game you want. Oh, and here's the other thing. Okay, so they don't have the manuals, but they don't have them on this. But if you go to here, you've got a QR code that you can scan in that will take you to Nintendo's webpage that has all the manuals. They have two versions. They have the actual PDF of the original manual, so you can see what all the artwork and everything in it was, and they have an electronic version, which basically you can click on things and take you to different parts of the manual. So It's really cool. The way they did this is just really, really cool. Nintendo is brilliant. They knew exactly what they were doing with this, and they're very smart. Now, I just hope they do the same thing for Super Nintendo, because that's, I would love to see that too. And if you guys, some people may not know this, but in Japan, this was released as the Famicom game computer. It looked totally different, but in Japan, they released what they're calling it as a mini version, which basically did the same thing as this for the Famicom in Japan. So those guys get that one too, and they don't get all the same games. There's quite a few of them that they get different games for. Some of them were Japanese releases only, because most of these Japanese, they're all Japanese for the most part. So there it is. Anybody got any questions about or want to see anything here? I'll be happy to do it if I can. I wish I could do this. I've got the ability to stream off my laptop, but I can only do it on a page. So I'd have to either do it on the Q's page or something like that, but I don't want to do that, so. It does not connect to Wi-Fi. It connects with HDMI to the TV, and no internet connection whatsoever. Which again is kind of too bad, because if it did, you could maybe download games to it, but Nintendo's pretty protective, I guess. They don't want to put all their games on it, so, because they want to sell probably, the second version that has another 30 games. Which then, if you've already got the first one, that just means you've got two of these things. See, I don't know. If that's what they do, that's going to be weird. And there are a lot of games that are missing from this that I wish they had. Contra's the big one. I mean, this Super C is just stupid. I know it's the same thing, but no, you can't purchase additional games. Only comes with one controller too, but you can buy another controller. But you can't purchase any more games because you only get what it comes with. And there's no expansions, no slots, nothing. This is just a box, a little bit of electronics in it. This doesn't even open up. Nothing. So, yeah, that's another one, Brett. No Tetris. They do have Dr. Mario though, which I guess people love. I don't like it. I played it until I tried it here, and I wasn't all that thrilled with it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with this thing. No. I'm trying to do this one-handed. So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to, like, stack up the same color next to these guys? I don't know. Can't do this one-handed. Anyway. Yes, it does use old-school controllers. You can't take ones that you have. Like, if you have an original Nintendo, you can't take ones you have and use it. You have to use the one designed for this. It looks exactly the same. Looks totally the same. Feels totally the same. Feels just like the original. But this connector is different. This is the same as the Wii Classic controller connector. So if you have a Wii Classic controller, it will work with this. But you can't use an old-fashioned... If you have an original Nintendo controller, it won't work in this. So... yeah, these controls, same thing. You can take this controller and plug it into the Wii, and it will work as well. But you've only got remember, you've only got the two buttons, basically. So you're going to have to play a game that only needs two buttons. So. It's pretty cool. I hooked it, and this is if you haven't heard or haven't read about it, here's the only drawback I've seen to it. Is this cord is very short. I mean, I would say like 3 feet. That's it. So you've got to either be right up close to the TV, or I'd recommend you get a longer HDMI cord. And then you can do just old school like you did when you were a kid. You dragged it to the couch, put it on the coffee table, and you played Nintendo. So you could just do it that way. But what I did, since I don't have a very long HDMI, I plugged it into my computer monitor at my desk, which is kind of cool. Oh, and the other thing, you cannot reset the game from the controller. So if you want to go back to the main menu, you have to press the reset button on the console. That's the other thing that I wish they had on there. Ice hockey's a huge miss. They should have definitely had that, but they didn't. And shocker that Greg asks that question. Let's see. Somebody else asked something. Yeah, if you've already got a Nintendo that works, you're not going to get much more out of this. If you got one that you still have the cartridges for and it works flawlessly, you probably don't want to bother. Unless there's games on this that you don't have, several of them, then you could be, then you might want it. Yeah, Kid Icarus is on it. I had never played Kid Icarus before I started playing it. That's a hard game. One mistake and you're done, which is crazy. And this is the wrong version of Contra, too. I'm sorry. I just don't like this one. I wish they had the original. I don't know what that... It must be something with Konami, because they have Contra for Xbox, but it's the arcade game. And it's one of those few where the arcade Contra isn't as good as the NES Contra. And so, the same thing here. They didn't put the regular Contra on here. They put Super C, so... All right. Whatever. Yeah, it looks fun, Kenny, but I got to figure out what I'm doing. May have to actually download the manual and read it. Do the graphics are, yeah, the graphics are better. There's modes you can choose from how you want the graphics displayed up here at the top. Choices. You've got CRT filter, 4:3, and pixel perfect. CRT will put scan lines on it, so it looks like it did on your TV back then. Then you've got the ones without the scan line, and then they have this one called pixel perfect, where they actually redraw every pixel, and it even bumps up the quality even more. I thought that was too much quality, because these things weren't designed to. It looks very blocky when you do it that way. I thought some people are gonna like this. It wasn't for me. So I stick with the, I'm still on Pixel Perfect. I stick with a 4:3. I put it on Pixel Perfect because I was demonstrating it, so. Yeah, Chandra, as long as yours is working, I'd stick with it. Well, yeah, that is the cool thing. It's very portable. Basically, you take the box, take the controller, and it runs on USB power. So if you've got a USB plug... I don't think a computer is going to be enough to power. You need to plug it into AC. But if you have a USB cord that has an AC adapter that one end goes into, then you should be fine to be able to power this. So it's pretty portable, pretty easy. You just have to have a screen. That's the biggest thing you're going to need. But no, I've been playing. No joke. I was up till 1 o'clock this morning playing that thing. It was just trying to beat Bald Bull the second time. Even with a save right where I need to be, I can't get him. The timing is all off. Oh, Teddy McKay! Can't wait to hear what you have to say. This is going to be fantastic. Be some sort of... I don't even know what you'd say. Want one, Teddy? I'll sell it to you for $350. That's $350. All right. I think I'm done here. Pretty much, if anyone's got any other questions about this. But seriously, if you find one, get one. It's really, really awesome. Now I got to go back to trying to beat Bald Bull.